Hi, I'm Kevin Bowen from Bomar Industrial Services. We're a hood cleaning and fire protection solutions company. Whether you're watching this video because you're just joining our company and you're starting your journey into kitchen exhaust cleaning, or you're just trying to learn about the industry, I'm glad you chose to start with this video. One of the most overlooked components of commercial kitchens is the kitchen exhaust system. Over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to walk you through what the entire basic kitchen exhaust system looks like and explain to you why it's important. If you are a new employee to Bomar Industrial, please take notes during this video as this information will be part of your Bomar Industrial Hood Cleaner certification. All right, guys, let's get started. Commercial kitchen exhaust systems, also known as ventilation systems or hoods, are important for two main reasons. One, they prevent fires, and two, they improve the air quality. A properly maintained exhaust system is the best way to prevent kitchen fires, which can be dangerous and costly. Grease fires can reach temperatures of up to 1400 degrees, and they can spread through your grease-coated exhaust vents to the ceiling and roof, causing extensive damage. Cooking in a commercial kitchen creates a lot of smoke, steam, and airborne particles, which can build up and create hazardous work environments. Exhaust systems remove these particles from the air, making the kitchen safer and more comfortable for your staff to work. Now that we know why kitchen exhaust systems in commercial kitchens are so important, let's take a look at all of the components that make up the kitchen exhaust system, starting from the roof and working our way down into the kitchen. This is what your standard rooftop upblast fan looks like. You might also find it on the side of the building sticking out, depending on the exhaust setup. This is the heart of your entire exhaust system. It's responsible for creating the suction for removing smoke and grease-laden vapors out of your kitchen. There'll be many variations to upblast fans, but they all serve the same purpose. On this upblast fan, you'll find the basic grease containment system that's responsible for capturing grease overflow, and hinge kits, which allow the fan to be opened for safe and proper cleaning, both of which are required by NFPA 96 Fire Code. Now we're going to take a closer look at a few different styles of the most common upblast fans you will see. These first two are common setups with a belt-driven fan sitting on top of a curb adapter. The fan on the left has a hinge kit to open the fan properly, visible by a small stop wire seen on the left. The fan on the right does not have a hinge kit, which is against NFPA 96 Fire Code. While removing the fan from the duct is still possible for cleaning because of its size, the risk of damage to the fan, roof, or potential injury to the tech removing the fan is increased. I do not recommend removing the fan if it does not have hinge kits. In the next photo on the left, you can see an older style high-side belt-driven upblast fan that are not very common anymore today. The high sides help with reducing grease spray onto the roof from high grease-producing locations. Sometimes you will also see an extension used on top of the fan that will extend the amount of surface area the grease can land on, preventing the grease from exiting the fan unit and landing on the roof, as you can see in the fan on the back. Around both of these fans, you will see a 360 grease containment system. These are used around fans that produce high volumes of grease where the possibility of grease exiting from any side of the fan exists. These are simply additional protection for the roof. Sometimes you will find the 360s in addition to a standard grease containment system shown on the right as added protection as well. Let's take a closer look at a few of the common grease containment systems. First is the standard system. While it meets NFPA 96 code for being a grease containment system, it does not have any drainage point or grease absorbing pillows to hold the grease, which will result in the grease landing on the roof during the first rainstorm. Next is the most common setup we use by Drip-Lock. It comes in various sizes and features a grease absorbing pillow that will catch and hold the grease. The container has drain holes in the bottom that will allow the water to drain through and not sit or overflow onto the roof. This is the most optimal system and will prevent grease from hitting your roof and causing damage. Finally, we have the 360, as we discussed previously, for those extremely high grease producing locations where the risk of grease exiting from all sides of the fan exists. Before we dive into the underside of the fan and ductwork, let's take a look at the full profile view of an opened up fan so you can see the functionality of the hinge kits. There are several different styles of hinge kits designed for exhaust fans and even some homemade hinge kits that you will come across. The most common we use by Drip-Lock are made up of two components: the hinge that is attached on the backside of the fan, and the stop chain that will prevent the fan from swinging open too far. You must inspect the fan before opening it to see what type of hinges you have and make sure they are secure and safe to open the fan. Once we have determined the hinge kits are safe to open and we get the fan opened up, we can inspect the underside of the fan blades that sit at the top of the ductwork. The picture on the left is a dirty fan and is non-compliant with NFPA 96 standards. This is a common appearance of a fan before it's cleaned. The picture on the right is after cleaning and is compliant with NFPA 96 bare metal standards. Improper cleaning of the fan can damage the motor from excessive grease buildup or worse, cause fire. Ductwork is one of the most important and overlooked components when it comes to cleaning the exhaust system. Here you will see a dirty duct on the left and a clean duct on the right. They are responsible for connecting the exhaust fan and the hood. Typically, these go unseen by kitchen staff unless they open up the exhaust system. Ducts act as the passageway for hot, smoky air and grease to travel from under the canopy of the hood at the cooking surface to the exhaust fan on the exterior of the building. Ductwork can either be straight or a series of bends and turns. Ductwork, by code, is supposed to have access panels every 8 to 12 feet on straight ducts and at every 90-degree turn otherwise. Access panels allow you to open the duct for proper cleaning and grease removal of areas that would otherwise be inaccessible without an access panel. All right, everyone, great job so far. We're about halfway through our tour of the kitchen exhaust system. But before we get off of the roof and we move down into the kitchen, I want to do a quick recap of everything that we've covered so far, because at the end of our training, there's going to be a short quiz that you're going to have to take. So make sure you're taking notes. Up to this point, we've covered why the kitchen exhaust system is so important. We talked about the different styles of upblast fans that exist. We showed you grease containment systems and the different applications of use for them. We've looked at hinge kits and what to look for before you open up your exhaust fans to make sure that they're safe so they don't get damaged. And we've also looked at ductwork and access panels and when access panels should be used. Let's head back inside to the kitchen now and finish up the tour looking at the hood and all of the components that make that up. Don't forget, make sure you're taking notes, because at the end of our training, we're going to have a short quiz. Let's jump into the kitchen's interior now and look at what makes up the inside components of the kitchen exhaust system. This is a standard hood and appliance setup you'll see in kitchens. Different locations might look similar, but their exhaust system and hood setup will be determined by the appliances they use in their kitchen. The main part of the hood that you see here is called the canopy. The canopy is the capture net for all smoke and grease produced by the appliances. The fire suppression drops are the first thing you notice when you look into the canopy. These are responsible for discharging the agent that will extinguish a fire that might occur. While we are not directly responsible for the functionality of these, the cleanliness of the drops are the first thing the kitchen staff will notice following our cleaning, and we are responsible for that. Next, you will see the lights and the globes. Sometimes, if the exhaust system is not sealed properly, the globes will fill with water. These are also required to be cleaned, and in the event they fill with water, remove them and dispose of the water appropriately. The most critical component of the hood that requires maintenance by the kitchen staff are the filters. As you can see, there are two examples of filters here, dirty and clean. Often, the kitchen staff likes to wait for the hood cleaning teams to come and clean the filters during the hood cleaning process, but that simply isn't enough, and we do not do that. Next, we jump into the plenum, or the area located behind the filters. The plenum is important because it captures and holds the grease before it enters the ductwork on its journey up to the exhaust fan. During the cleaning process, this is where you'll spend the majority of your time cleaning. In the plenum area, you'll find a trough. The trough is where a lot of the grease will settle when it passes through the filters. Oftentimes, the filters might even sit directly in this area. Typically, when we clean this area, we'll be using a 5-in-1 scraper, as the grease tends to settle and harden in this area. The next area is where the plenum meets the duct. Crossing over the duct entry in the plenum, you see a heat-activated fire suppression wire. This wire has a link that, when it heats up past a certain threshold, it will break and activate the fire suppression system. It is very important that this area remains clean to allow the fire suppression system to function properly in the event of a fire. Now for the last three areas of the exhaust system that we will discuss. First, the return air or makeup air, which will not be found on every exhaust system. Return air acts as a curtain, preventing the grease and hot air from escaping into the kitchen from underneath the hood. Finally, the outside of the hood and the back wall do not serve any purpose in the functionality of the exhaust system, but we pay attention to them because grease will build up here and can become a fire hazard if not cleaned properly, especially on the back wall.